They like.
What's up, y'all? This is Relly back with another video. Yes, son, today we got to talk about my home team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, because it is approaching that time of year where we have to start talking about the players we are thinking about drafting, as well as trying to position our team so we can have a really good chance for the next upcoming season. And with all that being said, we must talk about who I believe is tradable, locked, and who we need to let go. So let me start off with players that I believe is locked for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I believe Collin, Sexton, Kevin Porter Jr., and Dylan Windler are locked, right? I feel like some people may have question about Dylan Windler, and the reason why I have Dylan Windler locked is because he did not get time to play last season, right? He didn't get to show us what he can do, and I feel like this season, you know, we can let him show us what he can do and what he brings to the team. And I believe trading him or even letting him go does us a disservice because we did not give him a chance to show the potential he can have as a Cleveland Cavalier. Now, the next thing we have to talk about is players that's tradable. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to trade them, but players that we're potentially or logically going to shop this draft and this season. And those players would have to be Kevin Love, Andre Drummond, Darius Garland, Tristan Thompson, Larry Nance Jr., and Cedi Osman, right? Now, some people actually might have questions about Darius Garland, and the reason why I have Darius Garland is because if you know anything about the Cleveland Cavalier fans, Darius Garland has mixed emotions, right? Either you hate him or you love him. There's no in between, right? And I'm one of those people where I love him because I want to see what he brings to the team, and I just feel like he's just too young. Like, he didn't have enough time to really show us what he can do, especially when we drafted him off of an injury. So he was already one step below, right? Even though he gave some good production, it just wasn't the production a lot of Cleveland Cavaliers expected from him. And I just feel like I said before, it's just a lot of mixed emotions when it comes to Darius Garland. And then we have to talk about players we have to let go, and those players have to be Dante Exum as well as Ante Zizic. I don't care how you let them go, but you have to let them go. They serve no purpose on the Cleveland Cavaliers moving forward. Next, we have to talk about draft night, right? Because it's a lot of different ways the Cleveland Cavaliers can go with this, right? And I feel like out of all of the options, honestly, I feel like with our pick, we should just draft upright who's available with that 6th pick. And that means no trade up, no trade down, unless you get a deal so amazing it's almost you have to, right? And with all that being said, I've given us 3 options, 3 potential players we can draft with that 6th pick, right? And option 1 would be just draft Obi, right? If Obi Toppin is available, draft him, right? He's probably the best player on the board at that point in time. Why not draft Obi Toppin? Option 2 would be drafting Devin Vassell, right? Devin Vassell has been talked about all summer, right? People has been craving about where Devin Vassell is going to go. It's been rumored that even Golden State might trade back in order to draft Devin Vassell. We know the Hawks want Devin Vassell. Why not Cleveland Cavaliers take a chance on Devin Vassell being a small forward? Option 3 would be us drafting Isaac Okoro, and I feel like he would be a realistic option if he is the best available at that point in time, and I feel like why not for a Cleveland Cavaliers, right? Honorable mentions would be players like Patrick Williams as well as Okongwu, who I feel like will be there on that selection of 6 overall. Next, we got to talk about free agency because this is going to be a very important thing for the Cleveland Cavaliers because we're going to need some acquisitions, right? And I feel like I know some people that we should be aggressive for, as well as players that I feel like could actually come to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And those names would have to be Bobby Portis and Stanley Johnson. And I feel like those players would actually complement our roster as we have right now. They're young, they understand what their role is going to be. And I feel like we can improve those players alongside the talent we have. Also, as an honorable mention, I would say Josh Jackson, but just looking at what his contract is probably going to take, especially since I believe he's going to be a restricted free agent, which means the likelihood of us getting him, even if we're aggressive, is very unlikely. But if they decide that they're not going to use that restriction free agent, I feel like we should give Josh Jackson a chance. And also, we should also resign Matthew Dellavedova. And I know it might be some mixed emotions about Matthew Dellavedova, but I feel like based off the years he's put in with the Cleveland Cavaliers, as well as him being a household name in terms of Cleveland fans, If we can get him on a realistic, reasonable deal, why not sign a veteran point guard that understands the Cleveland Cavaliers culture? Last but not least, we have to talk about, based off all the moves we talked about today, who would be our starters and who would be our bench based off how I feel the moves was put in place. So we have to talk about the starters. I believe the starting lineup should be Collin, Sexton, Kevin Porter Jr., Obi Toppin, Kevin Love, and Andre Drummond. And then the bench should be Darius Garland, Dylan Windler, Stanley Johnson, Bobby Portis, and Tristan Thompson, right? I feel like that would be the most realistic and logical lineup for us. But I really want to know how y'all feel about that. What would y'all change about that starting lineup and bench? Down in the comments below. And down in the comments below, I want to know what y'all would make. What type of moves would y'all do for the Cleveland Cavaliers? And what type of moves, based off what we said today, would you change in order to help move the Cleveland Cavaliers in a better direction? What's up, y'all? On a serious note, there's too many people wondering when they're going to get their next meal, man. And it's on us to help them. If you want to help feed America, there is a link under the description below that you can use to donate. Let's stop hunger together. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content, because we are on the 1K grind. And with y'all, I know I can get there. So, with that being said, Ghost.
Hey. Motivated all about cash flow, ran it up and ran out of excuses. In the field and we turned into hoopers. For the clip like bonds we shoot, just like some soldiers we trooping.